Your liver might be taking a hit before you ever touch a drop of alcohol. The risk hides in everyday refills, sweet sauces, and healthy labels we trust. Stay with me for a calm, practical plan to spot the traps and swap in simple, liver-friendly habits that work. I used to think the liver only worried when someone drank too much alcohol. Simple story, right? Until I noticed something quieter in my own routine. A steady drip of sweetness I never counted. The Office 100% juice that comes in a jug and feels healthy. The large latte with a caramel pump because I earned it. That free soda refill at a diner that almost refills itself. Tiny choices that seem harmless, especially in North American life, where large is the default, can stack up in a way you don't feel today, but your liver keeps the scorecard. Before we go further, a quick promise so you get maximum value. If you stay with me all the way through this content, I'll share a compact bonus, a simple label decoder you can screenshot that highlights common U.S. ingredient names for hidden sugar, and a quick flavor blueprint to make unsweetened drinks genuinely satisfying. No drama, no gimmicks, just a practical tool you can use in the supermarket this week. Here's why I'm slowing down on the everyday sips. Liquid sweetness behaves differently from a dessert you chew. You don't get the same "I'm full now" signals, so the total can climb without you noticing. And unlike a weekend treat, these drinks happen on autopilot. A sweet tea on the commute, a sports drink after the gym even when water would do, a bottled smoothie at lunch because it says natural. I'm not here to shame anyone. I've bought all of those. I'm here to make the invisible visible, because when it comes to health, details like amount and preparation really matter. Getting them wrong can quietly work against you. A useful mental shift. See sweetened drinks as desserts that happen to be liquid. That one mindset change helps you ask better questions. Would I eat 2 or 3 desserts in a row between meals? Probably not. But a free refill plus a grande coffee drink plus a healthy juice can add up to the same thing. The labels often distract us. No fat, organic, cold-pressed. Great, but how many grams of added sugar per serving? How many servings in the bottle? A quick trick I use. Divide grams of sugar by 4 to translate into teaspoons. 24 grams? About 6 teaspoons. If a bottle lists 2 servings, double it. It's not meant to scare you. It's meant to give you a clear, calm dashboard. Another small insight that saves people a lot of frustration. Quantity and method of preparation are a big deal. Whole fruit with fiber lands differently in the body than fruit juice in a tall cup. Black coffee or unsweetened cold brew behaves differently than a blended drink with syrups, whipped cream, and caramel drizzle. The difference is not subtle, especially when it happens every day. And because we're talking about health, accuracy matters. Pour sizes, how often you go back for more, whether a splash of syrup becomes a habit. These aren't moral issues. They're simple levers you can adjust. So, what can you do this week without feeling deprived? I like to start with water within reach, on my desk, in the car cup holder, by the couch. Default to water first, flavor second. Add a squeeze of lemon or lime, a slice of orange, or a few mint leaves. If you enjoy fizz, swap 1 soda for an unsweetened sparkling water. Add a splash of 100% juice for color if you want. But measure it, 1 or 2 ounces, not half the can. If bottled sweet tea is your go-to, try brewing a strong black tea at home, chill it, and brighten with lemon. Coffee lovers, keep the coffee, reimagine the cup. Ask for it unsweetened and add cinnamon, a dusting of cocoa powder, or a splash of milk instead of syrup. If a smoothie is part of your routine, consider it a meal. Use whole fruit, add fibrous greens, and skip the juice base. These are gentle swaps that add up. Label reading can be surprisingly empowering once you know where to look. Scan the added sugars line, not just total carbohydrates. Watch for familiar names that pop up in North American products. High fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, dextrose, maltodextrin, agave nectar, brown rice syrup, and corn syrup. Finding them doesn't mean a product is bad, but frequent appearances near the top of the ingredient list are a cue to pause. If your favorite brand is hard to let go, try portion control first. Buy smaller sizes, set a personal no refills rule, and drink a full glass of water before the treat. That 1-2 combination, awareness plus strategic swaps, reduces the quiet drip your liver has to manage. I'll be transparent. The goal here isn't perfection, it's direction. If you reduce sweetened beverages from daily to occasional, if you halve the size and enjoy it slowly, your liver gets a break. And small breaks, repeated, become meaningful change. In a bit, we'll map the precise pattern that turns these sips into a strain, and how to outsmart it without losing the pleasure of taste. Remember, I will also deliver that label decoder bonus so you can shop with confidence and avoid common pitfalls that lead to disappointment. Let me close this part with a simple commitment you can make today. Treat liquid sweetness like dessert, not hydration. Keep water handy, personalize it with citrus or herbs, and if you choose a sweet drink, savor it intentionally in a smaller portion. Your energy, focus, and digestion may surprise you when you make this shift. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results, it can also bring unwanted side effects. I'll explain everything in a calm, practical way so you can act with confidence. We just untangled the quiet roll of everyday sips, the free refill that becomes two, the grande latte sweetened out of habit, the bottled juice that wears a health halo. Now I want to make the science simple and practical so you can take smarter steps without losing the pleasure of taste. Think of this as turning on the light in a room you walk through every day. Here's the plain English version of why liquid sweetness can be tricky. When sugar shows up in a drink, especially in forms rich in fructose, the liver does more of the early processing work. That's its job. Whole fruit arrives with fiber, which slows things down and helps you feel satisfied. Juice and sweetened beverages arrive fast and concentrated, often without the "I'm full" feedback that meals provide. So you keep sipping. In a typical North American day, it's easy to stack. A 20-ounce soda at lunch, a sweet tea in the afternoon, an energy drink before the gym, and a dessert-like coffee later. No alarms go off, but the total sugar load can become a quiet pattern. This isn't a ban list, it's a clarity list. If you like to track progress, start by translating labels into teaspoons. Look for the added sugars line and divide by 4. 16 grams? About 4 teaspoons. 32 grams in a bottle with 2 servings? About 16 teaspoons in total. You don't have to memorize chemistry, but it helps to recognize common label names in U.S. products. High fructose corn syrup, HFCS, cane sugar, dextrose, maltodextrin, agave nectar, brown rice syrup, and corn syrup. Spotting them doesn't mean panic. It means you have the context to choose on purpose. Let me offer a few practical moves that fit real life. If soda is your comfort, keep the experience, but rethink the contents. Pour chilled seltzer over ice with a squeeze of orange and a teaspoon of 100% juice for color. Set a simple rule. Water refills are unlimited. Sweet drink refills are a once-per-week treat. If your morning joy is a flavored latte, try ordering a smaller size and asking for 1 pump instead of 3. Or choose an unsweetened cold brew and add cinnamon or a splash of milk. For sweet tea lovers, brew a strong batch at home and chill it. Brighten with lemon and mint. Post-workout? Most people do well with water unless a session is long and sweaty. If you reach for a sports drink, pour half into a second bottle and top both with water. The taste stays. The total impact drops. Smoothies deserve a quick spotlight. A store-bought smoothie can carry the sugar of several pieces of fruit plus juice in one sitting. The homemade version can be different if you use a simple template. 1 cup of whole fruit, 2 big handfuls of leafy greens, 1 source of protein or healthy fat, like Greek yogurt or peanut butter, and water or unsweetened milk as the base. Skip juice. This shifts the drink from a sugar surge to a meal you actually feel, and it respects your liver's workload. You might also try a short experiment to see how your body responds. For 5 days, keep sweetened beverages for special occasions only, not daily hydration. Notice your energy in the afternoon, your sleep quality, and how your waistband feels. Many people report steadier focus and fewer cravings once the sweet sip habit loses its grip. That's not magic. It's the stability that comes from fewer spikes and simpler choices. Because we're talking about health, a quick note on safety and method. Pay attention to portion sizes and how often you pour. Just a splash becomes a pattern fast. If you use non-caloric sweeteners, treat them as tools, not a free pass. Some people find they help step down from sugar. Others prefer to cut sweetness over time. If caffeine bothers your sleep or digestion, adjust the timing and amount. Quality of life improves when your choices are steady and your body isn't guessing. I want to acknowledge culture and comfort, too. In the U.S., social life often includes bottomless fountain drinks, iced coffee on every corner, and big game nights with pitchers of sweet tea. You don't have to opt out. You can opt different. Ask for water alongside your favorite drink and alternate sips. Share a large with a friend. Choose the kid's size and enjoy it fully. These micro decisions keep pleasure in the picture while easing the liver's workload over the long haul. The real arc here is not about fear, it's about agency. Once you see where liquid sugar sneaks in, you can place your own guardrails and still keep the rituals you love. Bit by bit, your taste buds recalibrate, and the unsweetened versions start to taste clean and bright. Less noise in your cup often equals more energy in your day. We're about to step into a tip that many people overlook, and it can make or break your progress. The way you prepare foods and drinks changes how hard your body has to work. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unwanted side effects. I'll lay it out clearly so you can make safe, confident choices. After dialing in the way we drink, the next lever hides in plain sight on the stovetop. I used to assume that the oil on the ingredient list was the whole story. Olive, canola, peanut. Pick one and get on with it. What I missed was the part you can't read on a label. How hot the pan gets, how often the oil is reused, and how sugary marinades react when they meet intense heat. That golden crust we crave on hash browns at breakfast or chicken tenders at dinner feels like a small culinary victory, but the path to that crunch matters just as much as the ingredients themselves. I'm not here to take away your weekend wings or the onion rings at the ball game. I am here to show you how to enjoy them in a way that treats your body, especially your liver, with more respect and less guesswork. Here's the simple lens that changed my cooking. Browning is flavor, but smoke is a signal. When fat hits temperatures beyond its comfort zone, it breaks down and the kitchen fills with that sharp, burnt smell. Reused deep-fry oil does this faster. Each cycle lowers its tolerance for heat and leaves behind breakdown products your body has to process later. Add sugar to the picture, a glaze on ribs, a bottled barbecue sauce, a honey drizzle on Brussels sprouts, and you've got a recipe for quick scorching. The darker the char, the more compounds your body needs to handle. None of this calls for panic. It calls for better control. Practical control starts with heat management. I aim for golden, not blackened. If I pan-sear, I preheat on medium rather than blasting the burner, and I watch for the first whisper of shimmer in the oil. Shimmer yes, smoke no. A kitchen thermometer isn't just for baking. It's the friend that tells you the pan is ready without overdoing it. In the oven, I use 425 degree Fi for crisp without char, and if I want extra crunch, I elevate food on a rack so hot air surrounds it. An air fryer can help, but the same rule applies. Light color and even browning beat dark spots every time. Oil choice is the next small hinge that opens a big door. For high heat, I reach for oils with higher smoke points, like avocado or refined peanut oil, and I keep extra virgin olive oil for lower heat or finishing. That way, I get flavor without the smoke show, and I skip reusing deep-fry oil. I know it's common to keep a pot of oil by the stove after a fish fry or wing night, but each reuse accelerates oxidation and carries yesterday's flavors and breakdown products into today's meal. If you love fried foods, make them a special event, not the weeknight routine, and start with fresh oil each time. Sugar and sauces is where good intentions often collide with high heat. Many North American staples, bottled teriyaki, honey mustard, sweet chili, bourbon barbecue, taste great because they're sweet. That's fine when the sauce is brushed on at the end, off heat, or used as a dip. It's not so fine when it lives in a 30-minute broil. A small shift solves it. Cook proteins with dry rubs, herbs, salt, pepper, garlic, paprika, then finish with a light brush of your favorite sauce after the heat is off. You still get the gloss and the sticky edge without the scorched sugar. Marinating with acids and herbs does more than add flavor. It helps you cook gently. Lemon juice, yogurt, buttermilk, vinegar, and fresh spices like rosemary or thyme let you hit tenderness at lower temperatures and shorter times. Patting food dry before it meets the pan prevents steaming and reduces the urge to crank up the heat to chase browning. If I'm cooking chicken breasts, I often split them to even the thickness so the outside doesn't burn before the center is done. If I'm cooking potatoes, I parboil or steam for a few minutes, then roast at moderate heat to finish crisp without blackened edges. Sides can quietly work for you or against you. When the main dish leans richer, I pair it with fiber-forward partners. A big tray of roasted vegetables, broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, tossed with olive oil and salt, or a slaw dressed with plain yogurt, mustard, and lemon instead of a sugary bottled dressing. Whole grain sides, quinoa, brown rice, farro, give you satisfying chew without the need for sweet sauces. These swaps don't remove pleasure. They remove the pressure on your liver to manage extra sugar and overheated fats at the same time. Kitchen habits matter too. Use the vent hood. Let it actually pull air by opening a window a crack. Don't scrape the darkest bits from the pan into the sauce just because they're there. Deglaze while those bits are still golden, not when they cross into burnt. If something does char, trim it away rather than mixing it back in. And give your cookware a quick reset between batches. A minute spent wiping or rinsing keeps the next round from picking up the last round's overheated residue. If you love brunch culture, pancakes with bacon, syrup, and crispy hash browns, try a small reshuffle. Keep the bacon, but bake it on a rack at 400 degrees so the fat drips away and the slices crisp without smoking. Swap half the pancakes for scrambled eggs with spinach. Warm real maple syrup and measure it into a small dish instead of free pouring. Or try a savory route, a plate anchored by sautéed greens and roasted sweet potatoes with a poached egg on top. The flavors still feel indulgent, but the cooking methods stay gentle. Tailgate nights and game day spreads can get the same treatment. Bake wings on a rack, toss in sauce at the end, and serve with crunchy vegetables and a tangy yogurt dip. If onion rings are non-negotiable, make a small batch and enjoy slowly. Balance the table with a big salad, water within reach, and a bowl of citrus wedges to brighten everything without extra sugar. The outcome of these low-drama changes is real. Less smoke in the kitchen, fewer scorch marks on dinner, more flavor you can taste rather than taste you have to chase with sauce. Your body does best when you reduce the number of little burdens it has to juggle at once. None of this demands perfection. It asks for an extra breath before turning the knob to high and a small measure of patience while heat does its work. Let's land this gently with a checklist you can apply tonight. Keep heat moderate and color golden. Choose fresh oil and skip reusing deep fry batches. Finish sweet sauces off heat. Marinate with acid and herbs. Pair richer mains with fiber-rich sides. Trim char instead of stirring it in. Repeat these moves and your meals will feel cleaner, taste better, and ask less of your liver day after day. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unwanted side effects. I'll keep the guidance clear, steady, and practical so you can apply it safely. By now the outline is taking shape. What we sip and how we cook, day in and day out, can quietly shape how our bodies feel. There's another everyday pattern worth putting under a calm spotlight. The way common over-the-counter choices and social habits stack together. Many people rarely drink alcohol to excess and still feel off, groggy in the morning, heavy after dinner, or oddly fatigued despite sleeping enough. It's easy to miss the quiet trio that sometimes sits behind those days. Pain relievers used too casually, energy drinks used as a shortcut, and a celebratory drink layered on top. None of these choices is bad on its own when used responsibly. The issue is the overlap. Let's start with pain relief, because comfort matters. Acetaminophen is widely used in the United States. It's in single-ingredient tablets and in many multi-symptom cold and flu products. Used exactly as directed on the label and with guidance from a clinician, it can be appropriate for many people. The catch is duplication and timing. Taking a headache tablet at lunch and a nighttime cold remedy later can accidentally double the same active ingredient. Add a glass of wine at dinner, and you've created a combination your liver has to process without getting a vote. The fix is simple. Read the active ingredients line, look for the word acetaminophen or the abbreviation APAP, and track what you took and when. When in doubt, ask a pharmacist to review your list. 5 minutes at the counter can prevent a lot of confusion. Now consider the typical late afternoon slump. Reaching for an energy drink feels efficient. Caffeine for focus, sweetness for a quick lift, and a vitamin label that looks reassuring. The fine print can include ingredients like niacin, vitamin B3, at amounts that add up if you drink more than one can, or pair it with a pre-workout powder. Some people tolerate that well, others do not. The practical takeaway is to read serving sizes, avoid stacking similar products, and keep caffeine to a level that lets you sleep deeply and feel steady. If you enjoy fizz and flavor, unsweetened seltzer with citrus offers the ritual without the added pile-on. Social habits weave into this story too. A beer after mowing the lawn, a cocktail at happy hour, a glass of wine during dinner, these can fit a balanced life for many adults. The moment to be careful is when alcohol mixes with the two patterns above. Recent use of certain pain relievers or a day already heavy on sweetened caffeinated drinks. Eating before you drink, alternating with water, and choosing smaller pours are low-drama ways to keep social moments enjoyable and your body comfortable. And if you're taking any medication, prescription or over-the-counter, check the label for alcohol warnings. They exist for a reason. They're there to help you make informed choices, not to scare you. Supplements deserve a thoughtful word. Natural on a label doesn't automatically mean gentle. Concentrated herbal extracts can feel different in the body than the tea or food they come from. Some people report trouble when combining multiple high-stim products or fat burner blends with caffeine. Others run into issues with concentrated green tea extract, kava, or complex proprietary mixes. This is where single-ingredient products, third-party testing seals, and conservative dosing shine. If you're already taking medications, pregnant, breastfeeding, or managing a health condition, a quick check-in with your clinician or pharmacist is the most reliable path. The goal isn't to avoid supplements, it's to choose them with the same care you bring to your meals. Here's a practical routine that reduces friction. Keep a simple medication and supplement log on your phone. Name, dose, time taken. Add a note if you had alcohol the same day. That single list helps you and any professional you consult see patterns fast. When you're under the weather, favor single-symptom products so you don't accidentally repeat active ingredients across brands. If you need pain relief and plan to drink later, consider skipping the drink or spacing it on a different day after talking with a professional about what's safe for you. If energy is the issue, try sleep first. Fixes: hydrate early, eat a balanced lunch with protein and fiber, and spend 5 minutes in daylight. Those give you steadier energy than chasing it with cans. With all of this, language matters. This is not about fear. It's about agency, placing gentle guardrails where small overlaps could cause discomfort. On a road trip, a simple plan looks like this. Pack water, brewed coffee in a thermos, and a few snacks so you're not hopping between an energy drink, a multi-symptom pill for a headache, and a strong cocktail at the hotel bar. At a tailgate, set up a hydration station next to the cooler and rotate a plate of fruit and nuts between rounds. The rituals remain fun. The load on your body stays reasonable. If something feels off despite your best efforts, unusual fatigue, lingering nausea, or discomfort that doesn't match your usual patterns, seek medical guidance rather than pushing through. Early conversations are easier than late ones, and a quick professional perspective can save you a lot of guesswork. Keep labels from the products you've used in the last few days. Having them on hand speeds up the conversation. Let me wrap this chapter with a steady, human rule of thumb you can remember on busy days. Avoid stacking. Don't stack alcohol on top of a day with multiple sweetened caffeinated drinks. Don't stack a nightcap on top of recent use of certain pain relievers. Don't stack complex supplements when a simpler single-ingredient option would do. Space things out, lower the total, and check labels for liver-related warnings. You'll feel the difference in your sleep, your mood, and the clarity that shows up in the morning. The next tip is one of the most important. And ignoring it won't just limit your results, it can also bring unwanted side effects. I'll keep the guidance calm, concrete, and respectful so you can make choices that fit your life. We just put sensible guardrails around everyday overlaps. How pain relievers, energy drinks, and alcohol can stack in ways that don't feel good. That foundation frees us to talk about allies, the simple foods and flavors that make your liver's day easier without turning your routine upside down. I'm not proposing a cleanse or anything extreme. I'm proposing small, reliable moves that you can repeat during a normal North American week. Errands, school runs, office days, game nights, and still feel satisfied. Let's start with fiber, which is less glamorous than a trendy supplement, but often more dependable. Think of fiber as a patient traffic cop for your meals. It slows how quickly sugars move through the gut, gives you a steadier sense of fullness, and nudges you toward portions that respect your body's pace. The easiest on-ramp is breakfast. A bowl of old-fashioned oats cooked with water or milk, a spoon of peanut butter or Greek yogurt for protein, and a handful of berries. If sweet is your default, this still tastes like comfort, but you get structure instead of a surge. If you prefer savory, try whole grain toast with avocado and a soft-boiled egg. The combination of fiber and protein keeps you level through the morning coffee and beyond. Next are the amargos, bitter and peppery leaves that remind the palate to wake up. Arugula, dandelion greens, kale, radicchio. A small daily portion can recalibrate taste away from constant sweet. Toss a handful into a lunch bowl with brown rice, grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, and a squeeze of lemon. If salad feels boring, trade the usual bottled ranch for a quick dressing. Olive oil, Dijon, lemon, black pepper, and a pinch of salt. The flavor pops without leaning on sugar. For dinner, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Love a hot oven at 400 degrees, with just enough oil to gloss the surface. Roast until the edges are golden, not dark, and finish with lemon zest or apple cider vinegar. Their fiber and sulfur compounds bring a grounded feeling to the plate. Beans and lentils are another underpraised ally. A can of black beans rinsed turns a salad into a meal in 30 seconds. Lentil soup on a Sunday becomes weekday lunches with minimal effort. If you're used to white rice, try half and half with brown rice or quinoa to keep the familiar texture while nudging the fiber up. These swaps don't chase perfection. They steady the everyday. Now, a word on coffee, because many of us love it. Coffee itself, prepared simply, can be a friend. Brewed, filtered, enjoyed, without a syrupy costume. The costume is the issue. Whipped cream, flavored syrups, caramel drizzle that slowly turns coffee into dessert. Keep the ritual, but shift the contents. I like a clean pour-over with a dusting of cinnamon and a splash of milk. Cold brew is another gentle option. Less acidic, refreshing, and pleasant without sugar when you add orange peel or a bit of vanilla. If you order out, try a smaller size and ask for 1 pump of flavor instead of 3. Every time you do that, you cut sugar while keeping pleasure in the cup. Your pantry can make or break these intentions. Stock it with a few steady staples so dinner happens quickly without leaning on sweet sauces, canned tomatoes, tomato paste, olive oil, vinegars, balsamic, apple cider, red wine, mustard, garlic, onions, dried herbs, and whole grains. With those on hand, you can build a tomato-based skillet in 15 minutes that tastes bright and needs no sugar. If you do use bottled sauces, teriyaki, barbecue, sweet chili, think of them as finishing glazes. Cook the protein simply. Take the pan off the heat, then brush a thin layer of sauce and let residual warmth do the rest. You get the same shine and flavor with a fraction of the scorch and sweetness. Hydration habits amplify all of this. Keep a reusable bottle nearby and make water the default. If plain water feels flat, dress it up with citrus slices, cucumber, mint, or a splash of unsweetened cranberry for tartness. Unsweetened sparkling water can satisfy the craving for fizz you might otherwise chase with soda. A practical rule I use: for each sweetened drink you truly want, drink a full glass of water first. You'll often feel satisfied with a smaller portion of the sweet drink afterward. On the move, choices get simpler when you have a plan. At a U.S. highway convenience store, look for roasted nuts, plain yogurt cups, string cheese, or fresh fruit instead of pastry and oversized energy drinks. At a fast casual spot, build your bowl like this: half vegetables, a quarter protein, a quarter whole grains, and sauces on the side. Taste first. Dip lightly. The goal isn't to police your plate. It's to make sure flavor doesn't have to depend on sugar. Food culture is social, not just biological, so give yourself permission to enjoy favorites. If pizza night is sacred, add a large salad to the table and enjoy 2 slices instead of 3. If barbecue is your love language, try a dry rub and smoke or oven bake, finishing with a thin brush of sauce just before serving. If dessert is part of family tradition, portion it into small bowls, sit down, and truly savor it. Mindfulness, not moralizing, tends to win in the long run. Let's translate all of this into a simple weekday blueprint you can adjust. Morning: water, coffee or tea prepared simply, and a fiber-forward breakfast. Midday: a bowl centered on vegetables and protein with bitter greens for edge. Afternoon: water again, maybe sparkling with citrus. A handful of nuts if you need a bridge. Evening: moderate heat cooking, golden not blackened, with a tray of roasted vegetables and a whole grain side. Night: a gentle close, herbal tea or plain water, so sleep arrives clean. Repeat this pattern most days, and your taste buds quietly reset. Sweet things taste sweeter. You need less of them to feel satisfied. If you have specific health conditions, pregnancy, or you take medications, personalize these ideas with your clinician. The point is not a one-size-fits-all plan. It's a practical starting line you can shape to your life. When you build meals around fiber, bitter notes, and clean coffee habits, you naturally reduce the quiet pressures that stack up across a day. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unwanted side effects. I'll explain it in a calm, practical way so you can act with confidence. We've put the pieces together step by step: steady hydration over sweetened sips, heat control in the kitchen, smart spacing of medications and social drinks, and daily allies like fiber, bitter greens, beans, and clean coffee habits. Now it's time to name the pattern plainly and give you a simple way to prepare your day so you don't have to think about it every hour. The core issue is the quiet stream of liquid sugar that sneaks in under healthy-sounding labels, generous portions, and automatic refills. When that stream runs daily, your body keeps pace in the background, but you may feel it in indirect ways: sluggish afternoons, cravings you didn't plan, and the sense that your meals don't stick. The solution is not restriction, it's design. Design begins in the morning when momentum is easiest to set. If coffee is your anchor, prepare it in a way that keeps the ritual but trims the extras. A straightforward blueprint looks like this: brew your coffee by pour-over, drip, or French press. Add a splash of milk if you enjoy it. Skip syrups, whipped toppings, and dessert-style add-ins. If you love flavor, dust cinnamon or cocoa powder on top, or scrape a bit of vanilla bean into the grounds. This moves coffee back into the beverage category instead of the dessert category and sets a clean tone for the day. If you prefer tea, a simple iced version takes minutes. Steep 2 tea bags, black or green, in a cup of hot water for 5 minutes. Dilute with cold water to a quart, chill, and finish with lemon and mint. No sugar is required when the brew is strong and the citrus is bright. For herbal options at night, chamomile, peppermint, ginger, you get the sense of a treat with none of the sugar stack that tends to hide in bottled drinks. Water remains the quiet hero. Build a habit, and the habit carries you. Fill a large bottle in the morning, add citrus slices or cucumber if you like, and place it where you see it: desk, car, kitchen counter. Each time you feel the pull for something sweet, take a few slow sips first. Often the signal was thirst dressed up as a craving. If fizz is part of your joy, keep unsweetened, sparkling water in the fridge and pour it over ice in a real glass. Small rituals make simple choices feel special. For people who rely on smoothies, treat them as meals rather than beverages between meals. Use a clear formula that respects balance. 1 cup of whole fruit, frozen berries are perfect. 2 generous handfuls of leafy greens, 1 protein or healthy fat, Greek yogurt, tofu, peanut butter or chia, and water or unsweetened milk as the base. Blend until creamy. Skip juice. If you want extra flavor, add ginger or cinnamon, not syrup. You'll notice the difference in how long it keeps you satisfied. Cooking methods seal the deal. Keep heat moderate so dinner arrives golden rather than charred, and finish sweet sauces off heat. Your body is dealing with fewer combustion byproducts and less added sugar at the same time. If you like a glazed finish, reduce a tablespoon of sauce with a splash of water in a small pan until glossy, then brush it on just before serving. You get the shine and the craveable taste without the burn. Let me deliver the promised bonus so you can shop with clarity. Labels in US. Grocery aisles use many names for sugar. Here's a quick pocket list to recognize fast. High fructose corn syrup, HFCS, corn syrup, cane sugar, or evaporated cane juice, dextrose, maltodextrin, agave nectar, and brown rice syrup. If one of these appears near the top of the ingredient list, or the added sugars line is high for the serving size, pause. Sometimes the smartest move is simply to choose a version with less added sweetener or to buy plain and season at home. Now for a one-page daily template, you can adapt freely. Morning. Water first. Coffee or tea prepared simply. Breakfast centered on fiber. Oats with peanut butter and berries, or eggs with sautéed greens. Mid-morning. If you want to pick-me-up, take a short walk or sip unsweetened sparkling water with citrus. Save sweet flavors for later and in smaller amounts. Lunch. Build a bowl with vegetables, a fist-sized portion of protein, a quarter plate of whole grains, and a bright low-sugar dressing. Keep sauces on the side. Afternoon. Check thirst before cravings. If you like a snack, choose nuts, yogurt, or fruit with a smear of nut butter. Evening. Cook at moderate heat. Elevate food on a rack for crisp without smoke. Glaze at the end if desired. Serve with a roasted vegetable tray and a whole grain side. Night. Wind down with herbal tea or water. Let sweetness taper so sleep arrives smooth. When you repeat this shape most days, taste recalibrates and the need for sweetness loosens. That's the reveal. Millions of us don't notice how liquid sugar slips into the day. By preparing drinks simply, picking sauces strategically, and using fiber-rich foods as anchors, you ease the quiet workload inside while keeping life enjoyable on the outside. I'll leave you with a calm encouragement. Health isn't a single grand gesture. It's a sequence of friendly choices you can live with. You already have what you need: a kettle, a pan, a grocery list with a few steady staples, and the ability to pause for 10 seconds before ordering the largest size. Share what you learn, teach someone you love how to make a bright, unsweetened iced tea, and savor the wins when they come. Better energy, steadier appetite, a kitchen that smells like food instead of smoke. If this guidance helps you, consider supporting more content like this. Share it with a friend who lives on refills. Tap like so the algorithm shows it to others. And subscribe so we can keep building small, smart routines together. Your attention and curiosity make this work matter. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unwanted side effects. I'll keep the tone factual and respectful so you can apply it safely.